A huge $5.5 billion leak from the US SEC was just found out, and it could totally change the game for people who own Ripple and XRP. This leak affects a lot more than just money. It takes aim at the current court case between Ripple and the SEC, and it could be the big break that Ripple has been waiting for. For months, the future of XRP has been uncertain because the SEC has been aggressively pursuing Ripple in court, trying to label XRP as a security. But now that this new information has come to light, everything is changing. Investors and crypto fans are buzzing because this leak could not only change the legal outcome for Ripple, but also cause XRP's price to skyrocket. Now saying that XRP could go up to $185, and some experts think that this price rise could happen sooner than we think. The SEC's involvement with Ripple has caused the company and its investors a lot of stress. The lawyers for Ripple have worked very hard to show that XRP is not a security, and the case is still going on. XRP's price has been hit hard, but this $5.5 billion leak could change everything. It's no secret that many people in the crypto world have been closely watching the SEC's actions, and some even say that the SEC has been going too far in controlling digital assets. Putting this information out there could be the tipping point, the SEC to rethink its harsh stance against Ripple. The timing couldn't be better, as the market is closely watching to see how the SEC responds, and whether this leak could lead to a positive outcome for Ripple. If that happens, the price of XRP could instantly skyrocket to $185. The crypto community is now paying more attention to Ripple than ever before. XRP has the chance to regain its value and hit new heights. This has been possible after years of uncertainty. This leak could be the thing that puts Ripple in a strong position and sets the stage for a big recovery. The price of XRP hasn't been this high in a long time, and many people think the news will lead to a rush of new investments. What the doubt is fading, and this new development makes people more optimistic about XRP's future every day. But what is this $5.5 billion leak all about, and how does it relate to the SEC case that is still going on? Let's look into this big news more closely and see what it means for the future of XRP. The $5 or billion from the US that got out. The SEC has shocked the crypto world, and for good reason. This isn't just a small piece of financial news. It's a huge revelation that could change the course of Ripple and XRP forever. So what does this leak actually mean, and why is it so important for the future of XRP? The details of this leak show that the SEC has been hiding important information, financial details that have a direct effect on Ripple's current court case. The public has been waiting for years for this leak to happen, which includes important financial papers and previously unknown information about XRP's regulatory status. The SEC has said that Ripple and its CEO sold XRP as a security that wasn't listed with them. This leak shows that the SEC may have had important information all along that could have completely changed the course of the case. Now that these documents have come to light, there is growing speculation that they could have a big effect on how the case is handled in the future. The most important thing about this leak is that it could change the SEC's position on XRP. The leak seems to show that the SEC did not treat XRP like other securities, which suggests that the agency may have gone too far in trying to regulate Ripple's cryptocurrency. This is very important information for Ripple. If the documents show that the SEC messed up their case, it could mean a big change in how their legal team handles the case. This leak could also help Ripple's case in the ongoing lawsuit, because it could show that the SEC wasn't acting completely honestly or fairly. This leak could have an impact on more than just Ripple. It could make the SEC rethink how it deals with all cryptocurrencies. If the SEC is found to have made a mistake with XRP, it could have an impact on all cryptocurrencies, change the agency's mind about how it handles all digital assets. Because of this case, this $5 billion leak has also brought attention to how the SEC regulates cryptocurrency. Significant gaps in the SEC's knowledge about how XRP worked were revealed by the leak, which brings up important questions about the AY's skill at successfully managing digital assets. The cryptocurrency market has had a hard time with regulatory uncertainty for a long time, and this leak could be the turning point. If the SEC has to back down or settle with Ripple, it will send a clear message to the rest of the crypto world that the SEC's aggressive stance might not be sustainable. Investors are now paying close attention to what happens next. Check to see how this leak affects Ripple's case and if it will help them win. The $5 billion leak isn't just about Ripple, it's about the future of the whole Bitcoin market and how it will work with the government. This hack could be the start of the next round of crypto rules, with Ripple at the center of them. The next few weeks could be some of the most important in Ripple's history, as the future of XRP is now in doubt. The ongoing legal fight between Ripple and the US SEC has been one of the most closely watched cases in the cryptocurrency world for years. It has been hard for Ripple to deal with the SEC's claim that XRP is an unregistered asset. A lot of uncertainty, not just for Ripple, but for the whole crypto market. The legal landscape around Ripple has been very complicated, with turns and twists at every turn. However, the recent $5 billion leak could be the key to turning things around in Ripple's favor. This leak contains important information that could prove how the SEC handled. There were mistakes in the case which could mean a big change in how Ripple's case is decided. Ripple's lawyers have always said that XRP is not a security, but a digital currency, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have also dodged being called securities. The main point of the case has been the SEC's claim that Ripple sold XRP as an unregistered asset. The disagreement is what has caused a lot of trouble for Ripple's business and the value of XRP. However, the leak suggests that the SEC might not have had all the information it needed to make that decision. In fact, it looks like the agency may have been wrong about Ripple's business practices and how XRP works in the market. If this information is true, this leak could completely change the course of the lawsuit, giving Ripple a much stronger position in the case. This is a game changer because it could cause the SEC to rethink its position in XRP and ultimately lead to a favorable settlement for Ripple. For Ripple, this leak is a chance to change the story in their favor. The legal battle has caused them to face many problems, including financial setbacks. To the public's attention, this new knowledge could give them the tools they need to better challenge the SEC's case. It's likely that Ripple's lawyers will use this leak to show that the SEC's case was based on bad evidence, and that XRP shouldn't be considered a security. This could help Ripple win the whole case, or at least get a partial victory, a deal that lets Ripple move forward without having to worry about current court cases. There is a chance that this leak could change the way coins are regulated in general, not just Ripple's case. It's possible that the SEC will change how it treats other cryptocurrency in the future, if it has to change how it treats XRP. Make things more stable and good for the whole crypto industry, which has had a hard time with regulatory uncertainty for a long time. This case could have big effects on not only Ripple, but also the whole cryptocurrency market. Investors are now more hopeful than ever that Ripple will win, and with the SEC's handling of the case being looked at closely, it looks like the legal odds are finally on Ripple's side. This is a turning point for Ripple, and what happens next in this case will decide not only its future, but also the future of crypto regulation.